Hello, I'm Renan Devillieres, founder of OSS Ventures.
And I'm Florent de Gantès, SVP New Ventures at Decathlon PULSE.
So we are here today to announce something big, something important in the story of OSS Ventures, and I hope of Decathlon, the closing of our first investment vehicle of 40 million with a closing target of $75 million. This development has been made possible with your help, Decathlon PULSE, alongside the renewed trust of our existing investors, Teknor Apex, Groupe Peugeot Frères, French Tech Acceleration, and Tikehau Capital, who have trusted us from the beginning.
But what we really wanted to share, what we're really excited about, is why this partnership exists. Because it's not just a financial investment, it's the sharing of an industrial ambition.
It is.
What convinced us was that the OSS model is very different from what we've seen everywhere else. As a startup studio, you're already present in 3,000 factories through the 22 startups you've created over the past 6 years that have together raised over 100 million.
Yes.
For us, it's the impact of these startups that is really exciting.
So when we look at industry today, there are a lot of engineers, there are a lot of solutions. This is not like the bottleneck. The bottleneck is really the end-to-end value chain pivot.
Yes, manufacturers and distributors have to manage complex systems together. Suppliers, subcontractors, internal teams with quality requirement and cost constraints and also speed requirements. And launching like a point solution it's not easy, but it can be done. But launching a whole system that addresses all of these things together, only OSS has done it.
And that's where most transformations hit a wall.
That's right. And that's what struck us about OSS. You don't start from the technology, you start from the challenge and the problem on the ground in the field.
Oh yeah, OSS ambition is very high. It's to pivot our productive model. But the way we do it is very humble. We go to the shop floor with founders, we look for operational pains, we understand the value chain as it is today, and we try to imagine what it should be end to end. To achieve this, offices are mostly in trains, planes, workshops, shop floors. I think every single one of OSS employees and founders have security shoes. The co-founders of our startups work with operators very close to the shop floor with a very ambitious tech-forward thinking, but the humility of going to the shop floor with all the human and physical constraints.
And this implies a really high level of discipline.
It does. Bidding for the field means accepting complexity. The world is complex, the supply chains are complex, there are complex things going on, and the cost of mistake is very high. So to really achieve business transformation, you need to be extremely humble, but also extremely ambitious using technology. So this new fund is dedicated to follow-on financing for the companies from OSS. We don't finance ideas, we don't finance ideas that are not grounded in reality. We build companies at the heart of factory and then we refinance them.
Companies that have already proven themselves in the field. And what's exciting is that now that they've proven themselves, they can now scale up and have a real impact across the world.
Indeed. It's actually an amplification fund. Time, like the clock is ticking, as you know, geopolitical tension, all the stress on natural resource. And so we need to scale fast that pivot of value chains. So this fund has also a transatlantic ambition. The West, like the US and also Europe, are facing the same challenge: productivity, reshoring, dependency to like some actors, and competitiveness, lack of know-how. How do you think of that in the lens of digitization?
The digitalization of operations is a prerequisite for any of this. And the factory has to be digitalized in order to be able to accelerate. So for us, producing faster, more locally, and with more resilience is the goal.
And so, as everything, we approach this very pragmatically. So we go to factories. I'm actually off the plane like last week in one of your factories. And so we go from the ground up to imagine that. So maybe to the manufacturers watching us?
So we're convinced that OSS builds tools that meet your needs in the factory on the scale of a worldwide value chain. And therefore, it allows you to accelerate and de-risk your transformation and serve your clients better, thanks to the operational commitment of OSS.
And so to entrepreneurs, if you like complex system, if you are humble enough to go with your security issues onto the factory floor and you want to transform at first the first part of the Decathlon value chain, OSS is the place to create. So let's have an impact.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get to it.
Yes.